Hey, everybody. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Back with another episode. This is a cool one. I always say that, but this is one of my day oneers right here. This man, me and him go way back. I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm going to just bring him to the show. This is my friend, my brother. It's been a long time since I've caught up with him, so I apologize ahead of time. We're going to be catching up and finding out what he wanted to be when he was growing up. But I bring to the show my buddy, my pal, my brother, Steve Freeman. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you first and foremost for reaching out to me, having me on your show. I'm truly blessed to have somebody like you in my life that reaches out to me after all these years. It's truly an honor to be on your show. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, no, man. I always shoot for the people that I'm closest to, day oneers, people who know me. Strangers are cool too, but it gives a different vibe. It gives a different vibe, but even though this show is about what you wanted to be when you were growing up and what you do now, one of the biggest things I get feedback wise is people want to know who I was. Now, I'm not telling you to tell any crazy stories. I already gave you my disclaimer before. I let him know that is not this show, but it does help when people know me. It kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow. I can't BS anybody, but man, I'm going to just start. I have a lot of questions because, like I said before, I have not caught up with Steve. Steve, when would you say the last time we spoke?
Face to face or?
Oh, face to face. That has to be like, I don't even. 05.
Your apartment in Northridge?
Partying in Northridge. And then weren't you working security years ago?
I did that as a side job. So I worked Progressive Insurance during the daytime. I did security on the side for years and years.
Yeah, me and the wife, we were in Hollywood, probably with her cousins, and I remember, dang. Yeah, I don't remember where we were. I want to say Cinespace or something like that, or the spot that, what was it, Suge Knight and Chris Brown got into it. I forget. I want to say it was called the Supper Club or something like that. I remember I was like, "Hey, that's Steve." I was like, "What's up, man?" And you were like, "What's up, fool?" I was like, "What's going on?" But that was a real short interaction.
Yes.
So anyway, let's just get straight down to it. And the questions will unravel. What did you want to be when you were growing up? When you were a kid, what did you want to be?
This don't sound weird, but I wanted to be in the military.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's father served. My mom was supposed to go to the Air Force, but she found out she was pregnant with my sister, so she couldn't go in. And that was like late 70s. Then my father, he was in the Navy, and it was one of those things where they grew up and walked on the same street, and the bus kind of came through, and they took everybody. So growing up as a kid, I always heard their stories about serving in the Navy and how impactful it was. They didn't do the best with their lives. A lot of them came back because they did it during Vietnam, but they always had good stories. And I've always liked those military movies, and I've always been drawn to it. So I never took the SATs in college, or in high school, I'm sorry. And people are like, "Why aren't you taking SATs?" I said, "I'm going to the military." And
really? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was never a school person. I was terrible in school. I don't know what I was thinking, but I took the ASVAB and I did terrible. So my mom actually had to crash a class at ABC for me. And she's the one who got me to go to community college. I was just working, and I was going to just, back then there was no ASVAB for dummies or nothing like that. This is not
right.
This is like, I don't even know if Barnes & Nobles are there. You have to find a bookstore to get ASVAB book, but I wasn't studious like that, or I didn't have initiative in that area.
So you couldn't Google it from your phone. There was no situation like that. Yeah, you had to really go seek it out. Trust me.
Yeah. we may have had AOL back then. So
dial up.
And so
Yeah.
So, but like I ended up going to community college, and at community college, I had to meet people who challenged me to say, "Hey, are you going to use that as an excuse that you're not good in school, or are you going to just push through it?" So I kind of just met the right people, surrounded myself with the right people. Then after my first semester, they were like, "What class are you going to take next?" Then they kept asking me the same question over and over, over and over. Before you know it, I finished ABC, then decided to go to CSUN. Then I ended up graduating from CSUN. But like me going to college was pure accident. I was never supposed to go to college. I was supposed to just take a class or two. They helped me with my ASVAB so I could go to the military.
I see. Oh, okay. So you were going to graduate. I mean, we both went to Highland together, you guys.
Yes. Yes.
That's high school, Bulldogs. He graduated 2 years after me, right? 98, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So your plan was graduate high school. You said you didn't do well on the ASVAB, and you were going to take some courses at AVC just to help you for the ASVAB, and you were going to be out.
Yes, the whole plan was just to take courses and run the ASVAB. And I took a math class. Then I took another math class and some other class the following semester. But I ended up meeting the right people. And it's all about your association. The people you surround yourself will either bring you up or bring you down.
Were these people from Highland, or were these just people you met at AVC? Is that AVC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's funny. I met them at ABC, and they all went off to go to CSUN.
Wow.
And everybody I met was like, "Hey, we're going to CSUN. You coming with us, right?" The answer was no in the back of my mind. But I was like, yeah, totally. That's totally the game plan. Yeah, totally.
Right. Hold on. Pause. Because you're raising, I don't think you meant to, and maybe I'm leaning too far into it. What made you say, yeah, of course I am? Why didn't you just tell him, nah, I'm going to the military?
After a while, it just seemed like the right thing to do. Everybody from Adam Davenport to Pat Roberts.
Man, Adam Davenport. Pause. Sorry.
Yes.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
You know what? He's one of those people. He's got a wife and kids. I reached out to him back in December just to say hi. That was my old roommate, and he put me onto like underground Eminem. So whenever I hear some underground Eminem from back in the day, I always send him a text message.
Man, I haven't heard that name in years, and I don't know anybody who keeps in touch with him. And he had his brother. I forget his brother's name. I want to say Brian. Oh, Alex or something, right?
Yeah. So I don't know Alex that well. He lives in the East Coast somewhere.
Yeah, because he went into Secret Service. That was the last I heard about that cat, and I was like, Secret Service, and we're talking like 99, 2000. I was like, dang, like he went military, and then I think Millie told me Secret Service, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Adam, I never knew what he did, what he ended up doing, if he stayed in California or what, because I moved and went to Northridge.
Well, he was my first roommate.
And okay.
I first I lived in off Via Princesa in like Cane Country. Not community.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Like, there's going to be a whole lot of, yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
He's a union electrician.
Oh, so is he?
Yeah. Last time I talked to him.
Baller.
We did a phone call last year, and he works for Universal City Walk, and he's a big dog over there and does his thing over there. So he manages a team on the electrician side. So he's doing it. He's
doing very well. Yeah.
We talked about family. We talked about, he's always got something that he's working on, from Bitcoin to real estate to taking a trip here. But it's Adam, he always has that like cool persona. So it was really good to catch up with him. And, he helped me grow up as a man. He showed me how to cook. So it was a really good blessing to have somebody who's older like that, who was willing to help you and show you how to become a man with. Because I had lived at home and I lived with him. So going from like living at home to living with him, it was really one of those things where I'm eating top ramen with, vegetables, canned vegetables, or top ramen with like salami.
Right.
And he's over here eating chicken with like some diced tomatoes and onions. I'm like, bro, like something's not right, bro. So I gotta cook. So like having somebody like him was really, really impactful for me. And because I didn't leave off to college, I was already 21. So having somebody like him, he was my roommate my first year. Then I went off to college. Then we parted ways, and I lived in a fraternity house for about a year. Then when I went
no, don't graze over that. You know, rep your squad. What fraternity did you pledge? Come on.
Sigma Chi. I was a Sigma Chi back in the day.
I remember because you at the same time you were pledging them, I was pledging Pi Ka. Pikes, go Pikes. Yeah, those were good times, man. Yeah, no, don't graze over that. We got time. We got time.
We're gonna come back to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I didn't realize Adam was such an impact in your life.
We lived together again after when I moved to Northridge. You know, he was my roommate in Northridge.
He never came around. I don't remember that.
My first year living at the Summit, he had one room with his girl, and me and my boy, we shared the next room. And yeah, he lived up there. He would just reach out to me like, hey, what's up? This I'm doing. I said, hey, I'm looking to move out to the fraternity house. He goes, hey, what's up? Let's get a place. So it was, Adam's a real cool laid back dude. So me and him lived together. So I was sharing a room with a guy because, when you, back in the day, that was normal. And we shared a room.
Right, yeah.
And he had the other room, him and his girl. But he wasn't like us. He worked 9 to 5. So he had a girl. He wasn't really hanging out. And he would hang out like on the weekends here and there. But he just kind of kept to himself. And, we did our fraternity thing, and he kind of just did his grown man.
That's what I was about to say, grown man stuff. He was already on to other stuff where we were.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but being in Palmdale, and I'm not going, people always, at least in the beginning of the show, you talk so much stuff about Palmdale, man. Hey. All I'm gonna say is AV scanner. But anyway, dude, terrible. Not the people, but whoever's running Palmdale needs to be bullwhipped. But anyway, no, living in Palmdale and going to AVC. AVC is a community college, a junior college, a JC, Antelope Valley College. There is no fraternity, at least when we were there. So I know for me and my old roommate, Keith Studley, we wanted that college experience, and we got to CSUN, and it was a commuter school. So it still wasn't real college, like when people go to Notre Dame or Ohio State or something like that. And that was the reason we pledged. And I felt, and maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like some of that was you. What was your motivation behind pledging the fraternity?
Honestly, I don't know if you remember Jose Carrera.
I think so. Yeah.
You, if you saw Jose, you would know him. But he got to see CSUN right around 99, 2000. So he was already there when I got there, and he got the jump on all this stuff. And I had no desire. I had enough friends back in Palmdale.
Right. You already know. Yeah.
So I didn't need more friends. I knew you. I knew a handful of people, but he kind of broke it down like this. He goes, here's the deal. The campus is this big. He goes, if you want to cut the campus in half and meet a lot of people, have a lot of resources and network. So after you get out of here, you could have jobs. And he goes, fraternities are really good things. They help you with papers. They'll tell you what classes to take. They'll set you up, help you studying. So he really talked it up A to Z. So that's when I kind of all right, cool. But I didn't know where to go look for fraternities. I really wasn't looking. And it was just kind of one of those things where I worked with some guys who were Sigma Chi's. And one of my boys, his name was Amir, and he invited me to a Sigma Chi house over summer. And it was this girl I was talking to at the time from the Olive Garden. Me and her went. And I said, this place is a complete dump. I said, this is how you guys live. This is
I remember where the house was, too. It was right up the street from our apartment. Yeah.
Yes, it was. And, but me and Amir and this guy, Ben, we formed a really good relationship. And this guy, Luke, he was studying abroad. He came back. the three of us worked at the Olive Garden, and we formed a really good relationship. There was a guy, Andy, none of us cared for, but that's neither here nor there. But the four of us, I formed a really good relationship with the three of them. Then I got invited to the house on Rush. I didn't know it was Rush. Amir just like, come on, we're going to have women over. This. So I went over there for women. Then next thing you know, then my buddy who was in my class, this guy, Joe, he was the president at the time. And, he's in a suit and like a shirt and tie. And I'm like, Joe? And, this guy wears sandals and shorts to school every day. Now he's in a shirt and tie. The weirdest thing ever. But they came in. I liked what they were about. They really cool women. It was like multicultural, all races there. It was so much energy. So I was like, all right, I'll check this out. I'll see what they're about. And It was honestly one of the best decisions I ever made. It helped me out so much throughout school. Not having like family and friends out there. It gave me that, I don't have to be by myself for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I can't always go back home. But this holiday, I could be with people. I had so many doors open as far as people who helped me write papers. My first job I got after college was because of one of the guys who's a Simicai. He met a girl who was a recruiter and dropped my name. And that's how I got the job at Progressive Insurance. She called me and she was like, hey,
wow.
I got your number from Sean, this, and this. So that's how I got the job. And I still talk to those guys still to this day. And I've gotten so much financial advice, life advice from those guys. And it's 20 plus years later. And I still got those relationships. I went back there back in December and spent some time with them. So it's one of those things where it was like people view it as paying for your friends, but I think it's an investment into your future.
It's what you make it. It's what you make it. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, there were people in our fraternity that they were clearly there just to drink and just to, get jacked up.
Yeah.
But like you say, it teaches you, how can I put this? At least for myself, it wasn't just those guys. And I mean, for me, honestly, I was working, 40 hours a week. I did not have the lifestyle that my roommate had where he didn't have to work. He worked at, Macaroni Grill part-time, and his parents just paid the rest of his stuff. I worked full-time and went to school full-time, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to party like that. But what it did teach me from talking to them, I didn't really need it taught to me though, but networking, all in who you know, I get it. I know personally, I get it. My brother has the same thing, Kelly. We get it from our mom, being able to, you may not be most qualified for the job or the whatever it is you're going for, but because you know how to talk to people, because you know how to network, because you notice that this person has whatever else going on in their life from a basic conversation, boom, you got something you can work with and you connect with them and everything else. That's how it was with the fraternity when I got in with those guys, and they just, this isn't a podcast about fraternities, but they really do look out for you. I can't speak for every fraternity. It was just my experience and Steve's experience. It is a brotherhood. It's really, really cool. I mean, I've heard, I remember, you're not allowed to really go into it too deep, but during the rush, all I will say is you had I remember a conversation. You were like, yeah, how was your, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what we called it, but
It was a pledged past retreat.
Yeah, the retreat. And you were like, how was yours? And I was like, not cool. And you were like, oh, we partied and chilled. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, that's when I first realized. I was like, oh, I could have picked some different dudes. But, ours was not like that. It doesn't matter anymore. I'll tell one quick story. I'll never forget. I'm dressed in slacks and a nice shirt because it was like a Sunday morning and I had to go to work. I worked retail. You guys have heard my stories about retail. I worked retail in Valencia Mall, Valencia Town Center. And they were like, hey, you need to go to this event Sunday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. And I'm like, okay. So I go, and they blindfolded us, all the pledges, and made us put like our right hand on each other's shoulders in a line. And they can't do nothing to me. I'm 46 years old. But because you're not supposed to talk about all this. But I remember standing there, and I was like, I'm late for work. Like how you talk about Adam. I was like, that's where I realized I was 22, 23. And these people were like 18, 19 years old. And I might as well have been 35. I was like, I have time for this, man. Like, I'm trying to make money. You guys are playing games. Like, I'm a grown man. I'm 23 years old. And they were like, okay. Or they made us say some stuff, and I was like, all right. And they're like, okay, you're going to follow the next guy out to the backyard, like hand on shoulder. And then they take you. And I'm only telling this for people young people, maybe in high school, that want to pledge a fraternity. Just be prepared, some better than others. And I may have been the only one of my kind that was there. So I had a slightly different perspective on the events that were about to happen. And the guy goes, I just hear him like 10 people ahead of me. No, bend over. And whack. Oh, and I was like, what the hell? I said, oh, nah. I was like, see, I was halfway out the door anyway with this. I was like, somebody hit me. I'm swinging. And sure enough, comes all the way up. I didn't realize nobody had their hand on my shoulder. I was the last person. So all these dudes go through it, right? We're blindfolded. And I hear the person in front of me. I could feel the wind. Whack! And I was like, shh. I can't cuss. But I was like, shoot. I said, hey, when it comes my turn, I was like, and I knew who was doing the swinging. And I was like, dude, I'm not going out like that. I was like, nah. Because I was the last one. I was like, that means probably everybody's watching me about to get whooped. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm a grown man. I make, at the time, $35,000 a year, which I was balling at the time. So I thought, I could go to Vegas whenever I wanted. And I said, no, you're not, ain't nobody whooping me. So it came my turn, bend over. And I was like, nah. And dude was like, I said, bend over. And I was like, nope. And I heard people, I couldn't see them, but I heard people go, ooh. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I hope they don't sock me or something. I was like, dang. And he was like, put your hands on the chair, like, which forced me to bend over. And I put my hands on the chair, and I was like, and he was like, now bend over. And I was like, and all I said, hell nah. And I heard somebody laugh, and he was like, and the dude like broke character. He was like, dude, just bend over. And I bend over, and I hear something go whack. And he goes, take your blindfold off. Nobody got hit. They were hitting the chair next to him. Man, when I tell you that was one of the moments, it was the longest 20 minutes of my life listening to people get whooped, or so I thought. I was like, these dudes are just taking it? I ain't going out like that. And haha, joke, whatever. But yeah, I never forgot that. Never forgot it. I was like, look, man, I'm gonna be late for work. Y'all messing around. They were like, it's all good, bro. Hey, we thought you were gonna swing on us. We had to hurry up and let you know this was fake. And I was like, dude, I'm 20. You guys are 18, 19. I was like, I'm 23 going on 24. Like, I got a job. I'm an assistant manager at a store. Like, I don't have the luxury of working part-time as a waiter and just, hey, my bills are taken care of. Like, nah, I didn't have that. Like, I had to get it. But anyhow, so you're at CSUN. You're doing your thing. You pledged Sigma Chi. What happened to you after that, man? I mean, did you graduate? You went to 4 years, or how did it go?
It was, honestly, I actually had to pledge twice, so I
Oh,
didn't make it the
okay.
first time. So got caught up in like everything pledging and not really doing my school stuff. And I took some hard classes. I was a finance major, and so I had to, pledge twice, but it was worth it in the end. And I ended up graduating in '05, and I got a degree in finance. And after I graduated with the degree in finance, I went to go work at Progressive Insurance.
Okay.
Um, I, I went to go work at finance. I didn't know what finance was. Um, I I thought, like based off what it would tell us we could do, I thought I'd be doing that field. But when I got out, this is '05, there was no tech companies and there's no corporate finance that you could go to. It was like, hey, you could cold call and sell investments all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that sounds awful. Like, really just awful. And so I just went and worked at Progressive Insurance, and it was a good idea. I mean, it was perfect because a few years later, we had the 2008 collapse, and I had a corporate America job that just wasn't going to go nowhere. I was insulated, so I didn't really have to go through it. But after a couple of years of working at Progressive Insurance, I just knew corporate America wasn't for me. That's
Gotcha.
when I that's when I made the decision. I said, you know what, it's in my heart to go to the military. So at the age of 35, I went to a recruiter office and I said, hey, what can you do for me? And it was at the time I was in a situation where
What year is this?
I joined the Navy in 2014.
Okay. Wow. 2014. Okay.
Yeah, so I was I spent some years after when I was in corporate America traveling the world, just having fun. Then I remember it was 2012. I was in Croatia, and I said, I'm done, man. Like I can't do this. I can't live this lifestyle no more. I said I just want to get my life together, and I said I gotta, just go figure something out. Like I'm not where I want to be financially. I didn't know if I need to go back in the MBA or go to the military. And I just kind of looked at my boy who was going to UCLA, and this man was 100,000 deep on the MBA, and he was just like he couldn't find a job. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, maybe the MBA program is in my route. So,
Right.
and it was one of those things where it's just like it was always in my heart to serve. So I just kind of just went to talk to a recruiter. I told him I want a technical job, this, and this. And he goes, yeah, I can get you that. I said, you can put it in writing. He goes, I'll put it in writing for you.
No
So he put it in
way. Really? Now wait, you went into what?
the Navy.
The Navy. Okay, okay. You might have said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the Navy, and somebody was like, are you going to go officer? I said, I want to learn skills that could actually help me in the real world. Like just leading people, those are good skills, but like I need technical skills that I can actually use that I could fall back on if something happens to me.
Right.
And it was one of the best things ever because when I came out, I went in the Navy, did my 6 years, I deployed to the Persian Gulf and everything. It was a blessing. I went in 2017, went to the Persian Gulf. I got to do so much, meet so many cool people, amazing people. There was ups and downs, highs and lows, I'm not going to lie, but all in all, it was a great decision.
How many places did you go?
It was kind of a terrible deployment. So we went to Chennai, India. Then from Chennai, India, we went to Bahrain. Bahrain is in the Persian Gulf.
Yeah.
And so we have a naval base there. So we went in there. We allows us to get supplies and everything we need. So we went there. Then we went to Dubai.
Ooh, you went to Dubai. That's on my list of places. What did you think of? How long were you in Dubai?
4 days.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our room was like, still to the day, I can't believe it was 160 a night, and it was 1,600 square feet
Dang. In Dubai.
in Dubai. I mean, my buddy I was staying with, he goes, bro, I'm giving you $80. He looked in my eyes. He goes, I'm giving you $80. That's all you're getting is $80. I'm like, bro, I heard you the first 5 times. I had a king size bed in the shower. He had two queens in the shower. You walk in, there's a hallway right there with our bedrooms. Then we had a full living room with a 6-person dining table, balcony overlooking the marina.
So you can
crazy.
live well in Dubai.
You can live real well. It's tax free, so when you go there, when you cross the imaginary line, you don't pay no more taxes, no income tax, no federal tax. All your money is tax free. So I was actually thinking about going back to the Persian Gulf to go work out there. We call it, for the record, it's kind of like one of those things where they call it the Arabian Gulf or the Persian Gulf, or they try not to call it the Middle East no more. So it's the technical name for it's Arabian Gulf now.
Arabian Gulf. Huh.
Yeah, there was something that they did where it's a PR thing that they want to kind of clean up the name of it. But it was an eye opening experience, man. It was
I get that. You said the PR thing.
Yeah, the media makes it seem like it's nothing but a bunch of terrorists there. So you had to get
right. Yeah, no, I didn't want to say it. You did.
Yeah, so then you get there, and honestly, they're the most hospitable people you've ever met. The nicest people, friendliest people. When I say the customer service, you've never, ever in your life seen customer service till you go out there. Customer service blows any Vegas hotel out the water. When I say they bend over backwards to like serve you and roll out the red carpet, like it's just crazy. Like we went to like a steakhouse. It's called the Cut by Wolfgang Puck at the Four Seasons in Bahrain.
See,
and it was just, I mean, when I say like they bring raw meat to your tables, they they really give us, I've been out to sea for months at this point. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take that steak. Then they would have a dipping sauce you want for this. Your sides, you get a dipping sauce for each side. I'm so overloaded. I just wanted a steak, maybe some fries.
And you were only there 4 days. Oh man.
Yeah, it was crazy, just to see the Burj Khalifa.
Now
we couldn't go.
You're 35 at this point?
I was 37 at this point.
Yeah, see, now I'm assuming this is the first time you had been out of the country, like for real. I ain't talking about Mexico Carnival Cruise, but like out of the country, from Palmdale or from Palmdale, LA.
No, I had this in traveling.
Oh, okay.
07, me and some buddies, fraternity brothers of mine. It was 2007, and it's kind of like somebody has something to say to you, Keith. They're like, "Oh, how you doing? How's the family? How's this?" I said, "You're like, bro, did you just call me and just ask me some stupid questions like this? What do you want?" And my boys was like, "What do you think about going to Europe this summer?" So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we went, checked it out.
Oh wow, you got me beat.
Yeah, so I went to travel all through Europe. So I was able to just go explore some different countries. That's another reason why I got out of California. Because after traveling the world, I realized like living in LA is like living in a bubble.
It really is, man.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important to get out of your bubble. Just go explore what other places are like. Go live somewhere else. And I have friends who, my boy went to Oregon out of nowhere. He was a fraternity brother of mine. He went to Oregon out there, and there a few other people who just moved away and they came back different. A little bit more humble, a little bit more this and this. They weren't so high energy. They kind of came up with a different level of focus. And I was like, I hadn't been dating for a while now. Like I was kind of burned out of women, burned out of this. I was just bored. I just wasn't happy no more. I said, I need a change. I want to go live somewhere else. And I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to go. Because I was in Greece, kind of like a backstory. I was going to move to New Zealand for a woman back in 08, 09 timeframe.
Jet setting, huh? All right.
Yeah.
New Zealand. All right.
Yeah, I met her when I was in Greece, and me and her hit it off, and she was this, she was like, "Do you know where New Zealand is?" I'm like trying to be sophisticated. I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "Over by Mexico." She goes,
"You stupid." Over by Mexico. Oh, you weren't lying at the beginning of this with the ASVAB test. Okay.
You gotta keep a straight face. You can't break character. You gotta look in her eyes. In Mexico, she goes, "We don't speak Spanish." She goes, "We're over by Australia." And I was like,
"Yeah, in Australia, New Zealand."
No.
Yeah,
no, it's outside of Australia. So if you look at New Zealand to Australia, it's just like a flight, like an hour or two flight over there, back and forth. So it's just like That's why they all sound the same. Like it's like kind of New Zealand's kind of got a Southern Australian accent. So, but like,
Bananas.
so she was living with a guy. They were supposed to split up. She ended up getting pregnant. So I was
Oh.
like, yeah, it was like one of those things where she was in a relationship. It was like, it wasn't really going well. And then she was like, if I put this guy out, would you come stay with me?
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, yeah, no, this is 2010. I'm sorry. This is 2010. We met in '08. We kept in touch over the years. And she was telling me about her situation. Then I said, hey, if you put this dude out, I'll fly out there. I'll spend about a week or two with you. We'll see how things go with me living out there with you for about a week or two. Yeah, everything goes well, I'll just, because I was like, I looked at my life at the moment. I said, what do I have that's really holding me back?
Yeah.
And I think most people are so scared to really take a leap of faith because they're holding on to something.
Oh,
I think that's
everyone takes the path of least resistance, man.
yeah,
That's the way it
yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Oh, I can use the least amount of faith here. Yeah, I'll do this. This sounds safe. Yeah.
So, but it didn't work out. But it was still like, it was still, I still talk to her. She's still an amazing person. We still talk on like
She's still
social
in
media.
New Zealand, I take it.
She's still in, she has 2 kids now. So we just may say like little post, hey, how you doing? Check on her. But yeah, it's just, yeah.
The fact that you're able to connect with people in other countries like that, like there's people listening to this that are like, New Zealand, like at least you got to see other countries. For me, leaving California, and people heard my story, so I'm not going to go into it. Once I got out here to Georgia, to Atlanta, and I don't live in Atlanta, and I only say it. I know you guys know that, but Steve doesn't because we haven't caught up. I live north of it, like the equivalent of living in Valencia as opposed to LA. Like I do not live in LA.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like suburbs. So, but being here and going to Florida on a regular basis, like flying to Miami is a short flight. Going to, driving to Orlando or whatever it is. Or we went to Nashville, Tennessee. It's just 3 hours up the freeway. Like it, as opposed to what I saw in California and what we dealt with there, it was like, I always tell my wife, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and she's like, what? I go, we would have killed to have seen some of this stuff when I was like back in those Northridge days, back when I almost got whooped on the side of a chair telling me to bend over. Like I would have never came back. Like, I mean, I went to Nashville for a weekend. I tell you right now, country music and all, cowboy hats, boots, the whole nine. I would have never came back to Northridge. Like there was just, I'm not joking, dude. Like, have you ever been to a 4-story club? I'm watching it with my 40-something-year-old eyes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we thought we were balling, going to Dublin's and Miyagi's and all this. I'm like, like terrible. Like that was trash. Like these people would be laughing at us. And the crazier flip side of that is when I tell people out here where I'm from, I want to go. I hear it's so awesome. And I'm like, who told you? Where do they go? And they'll name, not Hollywood. They'll name San Diego. Like they name the outskirts. They never name like within the greater LA area. And I'm like, you could save your money. Like go to Vegas. You'll have more fun. Like it's prettier, the Strip. But yeah, no, it's so nice to see other places, and I hate that I'm seeing it at a later age because I wish I had just, like you said, I had nothing to lose. I had nothing tying me down. There was a point where I had nothing, in my 20s. The only thing that kept me in place was my job because, like I said, I was working full time to be able to afford my apartment and go to school and all that stuff. If I didn't have that, I would have been out there, MTV Spring Break, like just wherever they were at, Daytona, whatever. But yeah, man, that's cool. Man, You're operating on a whole nother level. Dubai, New Zealand. What happened next? I'm curious.
Honestly, like as I got to Navy in 2020, it was tough. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it was coming out the Navy after we do something called workups before you do one deployment. And workups for deployment is hands down the worst time of your life because it's the most stressful time of your life. Deployment is the most boring thing on the planet. It's like sitting in your bathroom staring at a white wall for 12 hours a day. It is beyond boring. And like your workups, they induce some of the exercises. So it's going through all that, all the paces. So we're going to San Diego all the time. Then I got to Navy in 2020. 2 weeks later, it's a COVID lockdown.
Wow.
So I found myself right back in the situation where I was in 2014, where I couldn't find a decent job because I was competing with everybody in California that had MBAs. So I go apply for a job, MBA, or do you have a certification? I was like, no. So I got it out so I could get some skills. So I got some skills, moved to a new place, and I was out there in the Seattle, Washington area. And at the time, I see 5-year-old kids make $130,000 a year. So I'm like, they're like, hey, you gonna stay in the Navy? I'm like, hell no. Like, I see these kids making money. I'm trying to make money like them kids. Go work on these tech companies. Their doors are wide open. Oh, you military? Yeah, no big deal. 2 weeks later, it was the COVID lockdown. So that was like another blow to me. So I kind of feel like I got set back once again. This time even further because I spent 6 years and I don't feel like I got ahead. And I was just a Uber driver at that point to make ends meet. And so it was kind of, I ended up getting on with a company doing building automation. And the only reason I got the job because I learned certain skills in the Navy, like technical skills. But I think I was in like a funk, like a 4-year funk where I was just not in the right state of mind. And I worked at that job. They took advantage of us. They paid us nothing. And they were always bright, like, you're worth $400,000 a year, right? I said, well, you pay me $65,000 a year, so I'm confused on this. So I did that, went to go work to the union, and I think what it was is I had bosses who came at me sideways because they knew they could. People talk down on me, they knew they could because you're stuck. There's not a lot of jobs out there. They see what's going on. They're not stupid. So I was in a relationship. I know it was me. I needed to get my stuff together. Post getting out the Navy, I wasn't in the right state of mind. Really amazing girl, and I just messed that up. And after that, kind of fell apart, and I just realized like my life's not going where it needs to go. I had to make another decision where I was like, you know what? I don't like the energy here in Washington State. I feel like I'm in this negative, gloomy environment. I knew I wanted to come down to Arizona. I came down to Arizona in 2006.
What part of Arizona are you in?
Scottsdale.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I came down here in 2006 for training. I had my going away party to the Navy here. So I've always loved Arizona. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start over, start fresh. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I had no clue in the world when I came out here what I was going to do. When I first got down here, of course, I was just not working, chasing women, blowing money. And I was like, all right, cool. You look at your credit card statement, you're like, all right, that ends real quick. Then I was like, back to driving Uber, trying to figure things out. And I met like an entrepreneur group who are just trying to make some things happen. And right now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to buy rental properties out of state. I work with a buddy of mine.
That's what you're doing right now, you're saying?
Yeah, like on the side. I'm trying to get and I'm going to bring you up to speed on everything I'm working on right now. And I was at a church event, and I believe you meet everybody for a reason. Nobody of course. Accidentally. And I met a guy there, and I was telling him about my situation where I couldn't find a job. The jobs I did find were just terrible, like sales jobs where like the on-track earnings are $65,000 a year. I said, you mean to tell me if I hit all my numbers, the most money I could make is $65,000? They're like, yeah. I said, that sucks. And so I didn't take the jobs. I was kind of like, once again, I was in a negative, bad place. I met a guy who was an independent insurance adjuster, 25 years old. He showed me the numbers. He goes, hey, this is the numbers. He goes, this is the compensation I just made. I was just working out here. He said, well, have you thought about being your own boss? Work for yourself? And at that time, I was like, yeah. And then he goes, let's just change numbers and sit down. When he showed me, because first he was like, you ever think about doing it? I said, nah. He showed me the numbers. I'm like, you know what? I have thought about doing it. It's crazy. It's crazy how you can flip that light switch on.
Oh man, you preaching to the choir, man. Jeez.
So
yeah,
I was like, yeah. So me and him sat down, we talked. Then he goes, I need you to get your insurance license. So I was actually looking to get
just about to ask, did you need to be licensed for this? And we spoke off, off the show, and I said, this is centered around young people. There's people listening to this or that will listen to this that go, independent insurance adjuster. And that's one of the first things. Like, do I need a license? Like, do I need to have a college degree? Like, is this something I can just go study? Like, how long did it take you to get your license? Let me just shut up.
It took me about 2 months, a month or two, about a month and a half. I mean, like, it's the course is the course.
Now this is your property and casualty insurance license?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
It's just like a general insurance license. If you want to sell insurance, do anything in insurance, it's you have to know everything about insurance, like all the different types of insurance.
Because I got my property and casualty, back in like 06, 07. Yeah, somewhere around there. And I remember going through it. I was licensed in California, and it's just like getting your real estate license, but a tougher. Yeah.
And honestly, my boy I met, he has a course that he's doing. Then he goes, hey, I'm selling a course. It costs this much money, but I'm going to help you out A to Z. I'm going to train you. And so you go, but you need to get your license. And I was like, cool. I'm going to go get a 9-to-5 job. And I'm just going to do something. 9-to-5 job. He goes, bro, get this done.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man. So honestly, like, I'm going to be real with you. It was a 7-day a week. I woke up and at like 9 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock in the morning, I was in front of my computer all day. I'll go hit the gym. Then at like 6, 7 o'clock at night, I would go drive Uber to about 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was a rental
grind mode.
Yeah, but it's just like, how bad do you want it? Like, are you?
That's what you bring up an excellent point. You took the words right out of my mouth. Trust me. Like, I know it's been a minute since we talked, but like, that's what I'm all about. Like, take the shame. I won't say shame, but take all the ridicule and judgment out of it. There's a lot of people our age and older that aren't doing a dang on thing. And what I'm hearing from you, I love hearing it, to take that pride away. There's proud people who are too proud to reinvent themselves, to try something new, I have all of this, or I've been doing this. I can't possibly go in this other direction. Who says? Yes, you can. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Oh my gosh, man. Like, I think I've sold everything besides cars. Like, real estate license, insurance license. Like, I mean, I do well now with what I do, but I'm listening to you, and I can tell you right now, Steve, like, we're gonna have to talk when this show is over. No, maybe not tonight, because I'm about to eat some food and chill out. But we're gonna talk soon. Hey, Let me stop. I had surgery. He doesn't know this, folks. I know you do. I had surgery on my ankle, and I had back surgery before that. In the last couple of years, I am not an obese man. I feel like an obese man. But I'm trying to get back on it. I never stopped going to the gym and all that, but.
So I took the course. I set up my LLC in the state of Arizona. So
okay.
They don't pay me directly $10.99. They pay my business. By paying my business, I have more tax write-offs.
Exactly.
And I have a degree in finance. I learned nothing. Listen to me, Keith. Nothing about taxes in school. I learned how to do math. And I had to go on YouTube and get around people who are entrepreneurs to understand the tax
Oh,
system.
I learned it from commercial real estate. I sold commercial real estate before I moved here, and I won't get into it because people they're uneducated. They don't know how taxes actually work. You evil rich people, we're going to make you pay your fair share. And it's like, no, you're not. That's a whole nother podcast. I'm fighting to not go into detail about that. But
Let me just say, like, this is how I'm gonna go. I'm dumbing down.
yeah,
If you create wealth, like, meaning somebody didn't have to give you money and give you a job.
right.
There's a lot of tax breaks for you. But if you're before you show up and somebody's handed you a job, handed you everything, you pay more taxes for that.
Yeah.
Now, to create wealth is harder. It takes a lot of financial investment. There's no certainty. So if you take that risk,
A lot more risk. You said it right there. Risk.
and you create money and you create this, you help the economy grow, and somebody didn't have to give it to you, you have more tax breaks. And I encourage everybody to go online. I mean, we have YouTube. You remember when I first got my first job in '06, they were like, YouTube's gonna be shut down. You know how much stuff is not trademark? Like, they're gonna get shut down, they're gonna sue. Now they got billions upon billions of hours of videos, and if you want to change your whole algorithm from, like, the stupid stuff you watch now to business, it's not hard. And you can watch one or two videos on business and taxation. And when I say you could you could go from business to taxation to LLCs. I'll set it all up to real estate and get educated. And you can do this all inside 1 week. 1 week, you can get educated on all this stuff and look at things. Like, I follow so many people talking about, every time I hear something about what's going on with the government, these tariffs and everything, I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know what you guys are saying. I go to my source online on YouTube and I get educated. I feel like in a few minutes, I'm like, now I understand. Like, I feel like there's so much education at your fingertips where you can get educated on taxes, LLCs, all right, different types of S Corp, C Corps. All right, what do you want to set up? What points did you set up as S Corp? There's so much that you can educate on. And, like, if you get 20 minutes, like, a lot of times I'll sit down and eat, watch a video on taxation. I want to know what's going on in real estate. Like, I was watching a video on real estate, the future of real estate, right before I jumped to the call with you, Keith. So I'll look at things like that, and I try to stay educated. But then I was just in California working, doing claims, where everything's going on with the fires and the wind. A lot of debris was flying out, so it damaged a lot of roofs. So a lot of people got ash and smoke all in their house. So I was like doing that, so I kind of fell off course, but I fell off course to, really do what I got to do to make money. But I'm always, even with me, like, I try to stay, like, watching videos and just really getting educated on something.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, so it's just like, all right, now I need to get
everybody's looking for a quick fix, like.
Very true, 100%.
Yeah, man, we're trying to get to that next level. We really are. It's not good enough just to be a ham and egger.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like a ham and egger, mouth breather, just you go to work, you come home. Like, I tell pleds all the time, like, is that it? Like, is that all? We're just supposed to keep doing this for another, I don't know, 17 years, 20 years or whatever? It's like, so as far as your 9 to 5, you're still doing insurance. Are you working for a company or are you straight up independent with what you do?
I'm a 100% independent. So I do, it's called cat duty. So whenever it's a natural disaster, like Hurricane Milton in Florida, the wildfires out in Los Angeles, and the local insurance company can't handle all the claims that are coming in, the governor will authorize them to bring in more people, and we'll get emergency light. So they contract out to a third party company, and they said, "Do you have any independent people?" So me and my boys, was like 3 of us. We had an Airbnb in El Monte. I didn't book it.
El Monte, wow, I haven't heard that in a long time.
I know, bro. Nobody says no. He booked an Airbnb with bars on the window. That's a whole nother story. And we stayed out there, and I worked, and I worked on a per claim basis, And we're doing about 3 claims a day, and at least I was. And I'm new to it. The guys I'm with were much better than me. And when it's done, it's done. Now I'm free. And we have hail season coming up in like Florida, not Florida, but Texas and Oklahoma. So I'll start traveling more to go to those. So I just kind of like go all around the country and just respond. And I live life on my terms now. I don't have a boss I answer up to. I answer for myself. I do myself. Like, I'm off today. That's why I'm like, hey, you like clean me up today? I'm dead serious, but I have nothing going on today. I have nothing going on tomorrow. Like, I have nothing going on till I want to make something go on. And that's the other thing about it, entrepreneurism. Like, you can make great money in the field I'm in. You work hard. You're good with your money. But, like, you got to stay hustling.
And, always. You're as good as your. Yeah, I don't care what you do for a living. You're as good as your pipeline.
Yes.
Yes. I work for myself. I go to the gym every day. I get a massage. If you are not putting the work in, it's going to show eventually. Not today, but it will show eventually. Yeah, no, it's very important. A lot of people don't have that discipline.
No. I'm in a without going too far off tangent. Like, one of the things, I met a wealthy guy. He's making like $10 million a year, and I told him, I said, "Why'd you buy a plane?" I said, "What was your logic?" He goes, "Let me tell you something about people who build wealth. They don't talk about making more money. They talk about saving their money. They talk about what can make them save them more money from taxes, and they invest in things. That's why they have cars. That's why," he goes, "this plane, I set in my own airport, and that's why this plane costs me so much money. Allows me to just write it off." And when he started really talking to me on like a large scale like that, that's when I was like, damn, I'm doing something wrong working a 9 to 5. Like, this W-2 is just not it. And he was just telling me how people think and like how they view taxes and everything. That's how we stay wealthy, by keeping money. But I might giving it away. He goes, you pay 30 to 40% taxes. He goes, I pay 20% max. Who's getting wealthy and who's going broke? And I was just like, he goes, you don't get paid for what you work. You get paid for your position. Because I get paid for the value I bring. And like, as I align my skill set, I get paid more and more money. And that's how you grow your money year after year, as you grow because aligning your mindset and your skill set. Like, for me, I'm starting to take today off, maybe take tomorrow off, just rest. And, get on my QuickBooks, update all my QuickBooks from all my transactions. And I start watching videos on more stuff I need to do to get me ready for hail season. So that's what aligning your mindset and your skill set is all about. Like, just really like honing your skills, getting out there, doing what you need to do.
That's excellent, man. That is excellent. Man, blown away. I thought I was just going to catch up on, you living in Arizona, and I knew you were in the Navy, and that was about it. I was telling my sister earlier, I was like, hey, I got to tape an episode. Oh, who is it? And I was like, you know him, but she was younger. You probably don't even remember her being around for the parties and stuff in Northridge. But she was there for some of them, a lot of them, especially towards the end. Steve was there for just about, you were there for all of them, Super Bowl parties, all that good stuff.
I remember Trey being there.
Trey was there? Yeah, Trey came. They came once. I remember that. It was a rainy night. Yeah,
he showed up, cornrows down to his back. I was like, bro, what's this man? I was like, man, cornrows. Then I remember Trey being there. I mean, it was the thing I always liked about your spot. It was like home. Like, I could go there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, when you go off to college like that, it's tough because you don't really have that support circle, that family support circle. So when I go to your place, it's like you and Keith there, and I feel like everybody that was there was just like, what's up, how you doing, this and this. So it was like home. It was
everybody was on the same vibe, man. We were just, we weren't wilding out, going crazy. Nobody was doing crazy drugs or anything like that. No college cliche for the most part. It was just, I realized probably that first year we were there, I tried. You learn about relationships with folks, right? Like, that takes time. I've watched too many movies, I guess. I I just thought I was going to meet a whole bunch of new people and everyone was going to come to our pad and just hang, and crash. And it wasn't that way. And then I remember, I don't remember what party it was. I think it was probably after my birthday. I realized, I said, you know what? We need to go ahead and invite the day one people, which was all my Palmdale people. I will not call out a bunch of names. But and you were down there at CSUN, like, it was like, oh, my boy, my people, like, yeah, I appreciate hearing that it was like home, like that. I won't say that was the goal necessarily. All I was trying to do is have a good time or make sure people had a good time. But yeah, no, like you're not alone. Like Edwin has said some of the same things. Edwin Reed, like we were all just trying to have a good time and just, yeah, man. And we did. God dang it. We really did. We had a good time. I remember those days, and it wasn't wild. It was, when I look back on it, like I remember Super Bowl party, and then we have a Super Bowl coming up this weekend, and I'm having a Super Bowl party in the basement down here. You guys, people out there, I've sent the pictures of the basement too. There's certain time periods where I just kind of smile to myself, and Super Bowl is one of them, because the first party we threw, very first, was Super Bowl, when it was me and Keith. And I remember you were there, Johanna. I won't go down the roll call, but we all had a good time. Like, it was all innocent fun. Like, we went to Pizzasaurus Rex right there in Northridge, right up the street, and got pizzas for super cheap, like nasty cheap pizza, but hey, it is what I bet that place is still there. Talk about being COVID proof. It's easy to be COVID proof when your pizzas are like probably $8 pizza. But no, man, those were really, really good times. I'm gonna end it with this because we coming up on the end here. I don't want to keep you too long. I'm gonna set the stage. It's a little dramatic. You haven't heard me ask this question because you hadn't listened to a lot of the other episodes. Everybody else knows probably what I'm about to ask. You're at the gym. You come out of the locker room. You about to hit the bench, and you see, this is fairy tale, right? You happen to see an 18-year-old Steve Freeman about to hit it. He's weak because he's Steve Freeman. He got a 45 on each side, but he's gonna need a spot. And you walk over to him. What would you tell 18-year-old Steve Freeman before he hits that weight?
Wow.
What would you tell your younger self if you had a chance?
I would say don't be so timid. Don't be so worried about what's going to go wrong. Just go through it. Stop avoiding conflicts. I would also tell myself something I realized at the age of 45 is you can get far with a good woman. I think that's one of the things I avoided. I don't know why. I think it's just personal. The men I had around me. But I would say, if a good woman could take you far, fail early. But the biggest thing is take those risks early. Don't avoid those risks. Go through those risks. I think there's a lot of things that I avoided in my life that I wish I could go back and do over again. And
what were those things? Hold on, pause. What are those things a lot of things that you say if you could go back, you'd do them over again? I mean, you don't have to go into detail, but just I'm curious for myself, and I'm curious for the young people who are already probably picture the person who's about to make those same mistakes that you view as mistakes.
Just like good women that I've dated over the years that because I wasn't mentally ready to settle down, I kind of just moved on. And, now I'm at a point where, I'm like, all right, I wish that person was actually a really good person. Where would I be if I actually gave that relationship a try? Would I by now, financially, where I'd be, I wouldn't be living in an apartment. I'd be living at home. just like, you know, like you'd be a different person if you made those decisions because you'd have kids. And those kids would have me mature years ago.
That's an understatement. Help you. They
like,
force you.
I know why I've always avoided, you know, relationships and opening up, being vulnerable to people. And it was something that I had to start reading, like John Maxwell books and you know, Eric Thomas and like things like that. I had to really start going down that road to find myself to say, all right, you're avoiding this, you're avoiding conflicts. Just, if I were to go back to 18-year-old Steve Freeman, I would say, just go through it. It's okay. It's not going to break you. Nobody, you know, nobody's broken by none of that stuff. You know, they've been hurt. Nobody's ever been broken. Just go through it, find a good woman, and just build. You know, build a life. It's cool to go work for somebody, but eventually you want to own yourself.
Yeah.
And your time. And that's basically what I would tell them at 18-year-old Steve Freeman.
I hear you. I love that answer. It's very true. It's very true. Everything you're saying. A majority of the people give some version of that. You know, enjoy the ride. Don't be so uptight about your future. I know, and that I say this often. That's the whole zone I'm in with the podcast. Like, I know I can't speak for anyone else, but I know for myself, there were some days and some nights where I really, you know, I'm in college, I'm doing my thing, and there's those still small moments where I'll just put it out there plain and simple. I'm staring out my store doorway or whatever at the Valencia Mall, just daydreaming on a Monday night, just bored, thinking, is this my major? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? What am I doing? Like, and I was so worried about it. Fast forward to now, and yeah, hindsight's 2020, but to worry about those things as much as I know I was worried about them. I mean, you can't. I thought, man, I was really, really worried about it. It would have been nice for someone to kind of tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, just enjoy the ride. It's going to work out anyway. I had no one there to tell me that. Nobody. I was not a man of faith at that time. I was just living, man of the world, just whatever lucky, whatever, hell, just to say lucky. I was living on whatever I heard at the time. It would have been nice to hear some words of encouragement of just, hey, enjoy the ride. It's all going to work out because you're a good dude. Like, I didn't have anyone to tell me that. And I know I'm kind of paraphrasing what you just said, but I think it's in the same vibe.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is, I think as men, I think right around like the mid 2000s, where the books like The Secrets are coming out, and so really changing the way we saw things. And I know when I read The Secret, it was just like this whole other world existed. And before that, I don't think we knew about mentorship and guidance. Nobody really talked about that like they talk about now. I think the word mentorship, because like being like, I don't want to say submissive to another man.
That's what I was about to say. I wasn't going to say submissive, but that was something that for our demographic, we didn't subscribe to. Like, that was for other people. Yeah.
Then, so it was frowned upon. It's like, no, Keith, you got to be your own man. You got to be, but it's like, how can you be your own man without having a good example of what a man is? How can you be a good entrepreneur without having a good example of what a great entrepreneur is?
Yeah, where are you supposed to just know it from, you know, I don't know, like some rapper talking about Jay-Z in 98, 99? Like, that's not real life. Like, you know, at least not for us. Like, you know, Rebecca, my last episode, and some others, like, one common denominator is it's not real if you can't picture it. If you can't, like, Becca wanted to be you know them. You know the twins. Oh man, I know you know them from CSUN. I forgot to ask her about that. We'll talk off mic.
Uh,
You know who I'm talking about, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, the twins. Yeah. They used to go to LA Fitness.
Yeah, exactly. Booyah.
Yeah,
Yeah. LA Fitness. I'm sure she'll listen to this. Both of them
yeah.
will, her and Jen. Um,
Her
we
dinner.
talked about this because she was on the last episode before you, Becca was, and she was like, I wanted to be a marine biologist. And it's like, but what does that look like? Like, you can't see that as reality because you don't know a marine biologist. Like, it's a great idea, but you know, if you grew up and your dad was a doctor and, you know, your uncle's a doctor, like, you know, the reality of being a doctor, like, you can picture that. And the same goes for a marine biologist or whatever it is. Like, there's certain things that you can't, it's a little tough to chew on. I'll put it that way, to consider it as reality. You know,
100%.
yeah.
100. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I know the twins.
Yeah. Good people. Good people.
Yes, great people. And but yeah, I think that whole thing about mentorship, like I never knew about it, the importance of it. I was in the Navy, and I was like, none of you guys are my mentor. I don't want to be nothing like you guys. But then I went to a real estate event to 2018, and the guy was talking. He had a lot to say, and he started talking about the benefits of being an entrepreneur. Then it was like, damn, like it was 120 people in the room, and he started talking about it and how 401ks don't work, this, and this. And it's like everybody just kind of gripped, like, dang, this is what I need to do. And I was like, I knew right then, like being my own boss was going to be like my future. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but that's when I was like, damn, like this makes sense, everything he's saying. But he was like, he goes, in order to make it, you need, first and foremost, you need a mentor. Then you need some sort of system. And he goes, then you need a circle, like an association of people who will help you lift you up. And like what I'm doing right now, I got my guy Jake, who he's 25, and he's gotten me into it. And I had to go to a 25-year-old and ask all my questions, but that takes a lot of pride. Because I don't look at him as a 25-year-old. I look at somebody who's at a different, like this is a book, I'm on chapter 1, he's on chapter 30. So somebody who already knows what's going on with these chapters, who could really gives me insight. Then his system in place. Then when I go out there, it's like a group of guys, and we stay in an Airbnb, and we just do it. Like we work till whenever we go to bed, midnight we go to bed. You know, rinse and repeat. Start at 8:00 in the morning again, and just go. But it's a circle of guys. So what I learned in 2018, it didn't really materialize till like recently. So like I didn't really have an opportunity really to put everything into place to recently, but I knew what I need to do for years, and I had to just be patient. And I think the reason why people fail so much in life is the lack of patience. Is they think that, you know, we live in a microwave society. Everybody thinks we instant gratification, instant success, but all true success are in a crock pot. And, you know, you got to let it put in a crock pot and let it cook, you know, but people want microwave put on 1 minute, and, you know, you get the one, you want a crock pot results, you know. It's like, what do you want? And, you know, I think I listen to like John Maxwell. You're familiar with John Maxwell, right?
I am.
Yeah. I got to see, you know, watch him do a presentation some years ago, and he was talking about this whole crock pot, you know, instant gratification society that we're in right now. And everybody laughs because everybody's like, we could definitely relate. And just, you know, listen to him. And sometimes it takes years, but when I'm so glad that I was mentally ready for this opportunity when it came along, that I just kind of jumped on it, because I knew that like what I learned in 2018, I'm just now being implemented in 2024.
That's awesome, man.
So it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, all right, cool. I got set up. I got my QuickBooks. I got this. Now I got my business credit card. I got my LLC. Now I'm just like, I became like a kid in a candy store. Once I got going, I got my insurance license. Shout out to Florida. Just was able to work in Florida, learn a lot in Florida. You know, got paid, you know, as a business and everything else. And that felt good. Then it was just like, man, like all the stuff I learned in 2018, it's now coming coming into place, and I'm in applying 2024, 2025. Now I'm looking at my future. Now I'm like, hey, what's next? Like now I want to buy a home. Now you can start picturing the things that you you want to achieve and you want to accomplish. You start saying like, I can make this happen. Like I'm gonna go out work my butt off this year, just work and work and work. Now I'm gonna buy the house. I'm gonna have the family. I'm gonna have all the stuff I want. I'm willing to put the work in.
Exactly.
But I know. Let me know whenever you got to wrap up, man.
No. I can talk forever. It's people that criticize me and go, that episode was 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I'm like, well. No, I'm just listening to you, man. If you listen to my past episodes, sometimes I talk a little too much, so I'm enjoying listening to you. And there's a lot of people, young people especially, that are listening to you going, I mean, just in my mind, and maybe I'm a little sappy, there's somebody 25 listening to this going, I don't have to wait till I'm 40. Like, let me just Google what this dude is talking about. Like, legit check. Like, go legit check what Steve is saying. And I will. Let's go ahead and bring it to a close. Are you willing, if anybody has questions or any kind of whatever it may be, shout out? Like, what's your social? You don't have to give your email address, but if anybody has questions or anything like that, at least your IG or something, you
can call me 661-886-0241. Jump on a phone call. I'm totally open. My IG is LL_cool_free. That's my IG. You can reach out to me anytime. I'll take calls. Whatever you need to do, jump on a call, follow me on IG. My IG is nothing cool, nothing, but you can message me right there. You could, whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about something, if I give you resources to help anybody, if they reach out to you, you want to give my number, that's totally cool. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm totally a resource. I don't know everything, but I could definitely give you resources to help you grow. I will. So just let me know.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. And he'd be simping too. He'll pay your bills, ladies. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just messing around. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go.
I'm good behavior. I'm not gonna let you tell me. I'm still my.
Stay on your grind. Stay on your grind. All right, everybody. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, which I know you did, please leave a comment. I believe you can leave comments on Spotify. Reach out to Steve. I believe he gave his information. If you didn't catch it, rewind and go back and jot down the information. Please, if you're interested in being a guest, reach out to me and let me know. We got room. I am a busy guy, but we got room, and I'd love to hear from you. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Steve, thank you for your time. Thank you for catching up with me. I learned a lot from talking to you, and we will be in a lot of touch very soon because I'm interested in everything that you're talking about with real estate, and real estate is my thing. Man, I did not want to bore these people with what I've learned with I'm not joking, man, like with commercial real estate. Boy, working the 9 to 5, let me stop. But anyhow, thank you guys. Enjoy. Get home safe. If you're listening to this while you're driving, pay attention. Keep your eyes on the road. Just go ahead and let an old episode play. Don't go look down at your phone. All right. Talk to you later, guys. God bless. Goodbye.